Traveler's Guide Japan. So you want to travel to Japan? Well, you've come to the right place. Let's plan out your trip to my personal favorite country in the world. Now, the first thing that I'll tell every traveler is if you're planning on moving around within a country, then you don't want to book your flight where you arrive and depart from the same airport. Even if it's going to cost you a little bit more money, you want to fly into one destination and then leave from another. For the sake of this video, we're going to be starting in probably the most famous city in Japan, Tokyo. So how do you get from the airport to Tokyo Center? Well, once you land, you're going to go through about 15 to 20 minutes of health screening before entering the country. This is just checking your required documents such as your passport, vaccination, and any other documents that Tokyo and Japan may need. Next, you'll enter the arrivals terminal. This is where you're going to take the metro. Tokyo's airport has free Wi-Fi, so you'll be able to figure out what line will take you to your hotel or to your hostel. You'll have to pay in cash though, so just to get your metro ticket, it should be roughly around 300 yen depending on where you're going. Each stop does have a different price. Just exchange your currency at one of the various currency exchanges within the terminal. And don't worry, the entire metro is in both Japanese and English, so it's very easy to navigate. But let's talk about Tokyo. We're going to assume that this is a 1-month trip in Japan, so it's very important the timing. The culture shock is going to be insane once you get into the city, so I recommend that you spend at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 days just walking around experiencing the sounds, the smells, the light of Tokyo and what it has to offer. But here are some must-see highlights. You're going to want to go to Shibuya Crossing. This crosswalk is the busiest crosswalk in the entire world with 2.4 million people going through it each and every day. And you can go across the street to the Starbucks, sit on the 3rd floor, and just watch everyone cross all at one time. Next up is Golden Gai. This is the local pub district in Tokyo, and it consists of a small litter of bars that only sit about 3 to 5 people. Bounce around from pub to pub the entire night. This is a really good mix of locals and tourists, and it's an absolute blast. Next up is going to be Shinjuku Gion National Garden. It's also absolutely beautiful in there, especially when it's cherry blossom season, but regardless, it's really nice to go and walk around. Now, what I would also recommend is to do a free walking tour. This tour will just take you to small portions of Tokyo, and it just explains some history behind Japan and especially Tokyo itself. If you really like the tour, I would tip $10 at the end because the tour is free. It is just tip based. But if the tour wasn't anything crazy to you, just throw $5. It's just a nice gesture because they are spending their time and they are working. Now, where to stay while in Tokyo? Well, I stayed at a few different hostels within Tokyo, and I think the best value and location is going to be Sitan Hostel. It's near a metro station. It's very clean. It's very cheap. It's about $15 a night. You get a curtain. There's a kitchen. It also doubles as a coffee shop and a bar, which is quite nice, especially in the morning and the evening. But where to eat? An absolute must restaurant for me, and I just actually stumbled in it, I didn't know about it, is Sushi Tomi. It's a hidden sushi bar where you can go in and get an entire meal for 950 yen. The owner and sushi chef is an old Japanese man who will tell you about how he opened up a restaurant in New York City without knowing how to speak English. When I walked in there, I was the first foreigner in 2 years. And it was an absolutely amazing experience. And the first foreigner in 2 years because Japan has been closed to foreigners for a very long time. And if you'd like to do another little thing that I would throw in for Tokyo, if you'd like to do a guided tour, I would definitely recommend doing a hiking tour to Mount Fuji. Again, it's an absolutely amazing experience. You can find it on like Get Your Guide or TripAdvisor or anything like that. Price around. Now, as much as I would love to stay in Tokyo, we can't stay there the whole time. So let's move to my favorite city in Japan, Kyoto. To get from Tokyo to Kyoto, your best bet is to either fly or take the Shinkansen. Flying is going to be cheaper than the high-speed train, but from the travel with the airport, it may end up taking more time. Let's just say that you're going to take the train. The Shinkansen is a high-speed train in Japan, and it runs about every 30 minutes from Tokyo Station to Kyoto Station. To get a ticket, it's very simple. Just follow the English signs in the train station to the ticket desk. Say that you'd like to go to Kyoto, and they will sell you a ticket. Roughly, it's going to be about $85, and you'll arrive in Kyoto in just about a few hours. It's a very smooth train ride. Now, if I could tell you to stay in one place the longest in Japan, it would be Kyoto without a doubt. Kyoto is such a beautiful city. It's relaxed yet alive. It's full of beauty, delicious food, and there's so much to see. Let's start on where to stay. Without a doubt, it's going to be K House Hostel. This hostel is super clean. It has a massive common area where everyone hangs out, and it also has a kitchen. The location is really nice. It's about 12-minute walk from Kyoto Station. Now, let's get the highlights of Kyoto. Number one is going to be the bamboo forest, an absolute incredible place with 40-foot tall bamboo stalks that will surround you. It's really nice to walk around, to take pictures, but the one thing I will tell you is you have to get there early. It gets very crowded with Japanese locals, and if you get here from Kyoto, you can just take the metro. It's about a 25-minute metro ride, and I think it costs somewhere around 300 yen. Not expensive. Next is Arishiyama Monkey Park. I know I'm butchering the name, but I'm going to butcher a lot of names here when we're talking about Japan. It's a really unique experience. First, you'll start off on a hike, but soon realize that you are surrounded by monkeys. These monkeys are wild and not in cages, but you can feed them food, you can get up close, and it's really cool to see. One thing I will tell you though is just watch your phone and camera. They do like to steal things. Maybe you're looking for somewhere to go have a casual beer, or maybe a night out, or just some delicious food. Well, you have to go to the Stones Irish Pub. This very well may be the best pub in all of Japan, and they even pour a very good Guinness. And I will give you this, it is somewhere that I have been to many a time, maybe for an entire week straight. And a bar that will stay open later than the Stones is going to be Rocking Bar ING. This owner of the Rocking Bar is an old Japanese man who is absolutely hysterical. He'll drink with you, he'll let you put your own music on, there's always some sort of sport going on in the background, and it's open really late till about 4 to 5 a.m. Now, maybe you're looking for somewhere where tourists don't usually go to, and I have the exact spot. This is a little retro Japanese restaurant, and I can't pronounce the name because it's actually only in Japanese. Now, the only reason that I know about this is because I was going on some dates with this French girl who speaks fluent Japanese, and it is an amazing experience. So you're going to go in there and it's incredibly cheap. The food is absolutely delicious. You're surrounded by these ancient relics from basically the 70s and the 80s. You see things from like the communist period. You see the propaganda from the Japanese Empire during World War II. It's really incredible to see. But I will tell you, you need to bring Google Translate with you because there's absolutely no one in there that speaks English, and the entire menu is in Japanese. I'm going to quickly touch on two surrounding cities near Kyoto. Personally, I am not a fan of the city of Osaka, but it is the party district of Japan. If you are looking to party until 4 or 5 a.m., going to clubs, then this is your place. They also have one of the cheapest private rooms in the entire country, and that is called Hotel Toyo. Unfortunately, Osaka used to have a famous restaurant where you actually paid in rubber duckies, but that is now closed. But what I will say for Osaka is one really cool place to check out, especially if you're into video games and stuff like that, is PC Retro Bar and Space Station. You go there and you'll have a really fun time. Next city right next to Osaka and Kyoto is Kobe, which again is very close to both of those cities. I never made it there personally, but if you want to go and try the most genuine Kobe beef in the world, this is going to be your place. However, my friends informed me that there's no need to spend more than 2 nights in the city. Now let's head to my second favorite city in Japan, Hiroshima. Let me tell you, everyone told me that Hiroshima was not worth more than just a few days. Well, I completely disagree. I stayed in Hiroshima for a total of 10 days and found it to be beautiful, exciting, full of lovely people, and now there's so much there to do. First is the bomb dome. This is something that I think every single person in the world should see. It is the last surviving building from when the United States dropped the atomic bomb in World War II, and it's very interesting, yet it's a stark reminder of the destructions that humans can create. You pair this with the Atomic Bomb Museum, which is right next to that building. You can do the both in the same day. However, I will warn you, it is probably one of the toughest museums that you will ever enter in your lifetime. Next is Itsukushima Jinga Gate. I absolutely butchered that, but it's my best way of pronouncing it. It's a really famous gate from the 16th century that actually was just finished with its reservations. This is off on a nearby island, so you can go and look around the island, you can take some nice photos, and then you come back, but it's going to take you basically most of the day. I will say for Hiroshima, without a doubt, the place you need to stay is Santiago Guest House. probably the cheapest accommodation in the entire city at about $12 per night. Just a fantastic vibe. It's full of friendly people. The staff will join you for nights out. There's free coffee. There's a kitchen that you can use, and it's really centrally located for everything in Hiroshima. I will recommend to you, you should just walk around the city. You should embrace it. See how the city was completely rebuilt and is now bustling. And a low-key food restaurant that I would recommend is give Park South Sandwich a try. The portions are really small, but the food itself is really tasty, and it's hard to find a good sandwich restaurant in Japan. Maybe you're the type of person that likes beach and really warm weather and palm trees. Well, then you should go to Okinawa. Okinawa is a Japanese vacation island that has an immense amount of history from World War II. But the question is, how do you get there? So you'll either need to fly from Fukuoka, Osaka, or Tokyo. But if we're following this plan that we've been doing the whole video, you're gonna fly from Fukuoka. It's just about a 2-hour train ride from Hiroshima, and you can usually get flights to Okinawa for about $40 to $50. Once you land there, there are gonna be a ton of buses right at the airport that will take you to the main area, and this is only gonna cost you about 110 yen. I think it's roughly about $1, and once you're on the island, it's time to relax. There are some nice beaches that you can lay out, but I think the beauty of Okinawa is the jungles. Like, you have the Valley of Gangala, and you also have the Southeast Botanical Gardens. These are two beautiful places. However, I, again, get up early and go to them. But what I really would recommend you for Okinawa is either renting a car or a motorbike. Public transportation is there on Okinawa, but it's not up to par with the rest of Japan. Some other really great things that I did while I was there was go to the exact location where the Battle of Hacksaw Ridge took place. It's a very famous story about a U.S. service member who went into battle without a weapon and saved over 70 lives. As well as you can go into the tunnels of the Japanese headquarters. Now, these Japanese tunnels are very well maintained, and you can actually see where the Japanese High Command would have controlled the battle and where they took their last stand against the invading American forces. Now, here's your Fast 5 on things either to remember or know prior to getting to Japan. Number 1, wearing a mask is part of the culture. It's respectful to put it on in the metro, but outside, feel free to take it off. You don't need to wear it. Number 2, 7-Eleven and Don Quixote are fantastic, quick meals. It's super delicious and it's super cheap. Number 3, English is not common at all. Sometimes it's going to be super difficult communicating, but download Google Translate and you should be okay whenever you need to use it. Number 4, be on time. I found this out the hard way. If you are late for a bus or a train, it will be gone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Everything in Japan is basically on time. Number 5, try new things. Japan is a very unique country, maybe the most unique country I've ever been. Enjoy it. You're going to have a blast. That's going to be it, travelers, for your ultimate guide to Japan. I hope you can use this to aid you along your journey and see more of the world. I especially want to thank all of the Patreon members for supporting the channel, and if you'd like to as well, you can check out some of the new tiers where you can even decide the next country that we go to. Well, grab a bag, book a flight, and have an adventure of a lifetime.